start with this. You finish the sentence. The start of hockey season gets you.
The start of hockey season, I'm going to just go with what everybody wants to hear. It gets me excited. Obviously, right now we've been practicing, we have our 8 hours, we have this, that, but we are getting to the point, it happens every year, where you got to play somebody else. Like right now, we're doing video and Coach Doyle is going, okay, we look at the offensive team, we look at the defensive team, and, which team are we rooting for? We're kind of rooting for both, Well, at the end of this weekend, we're going to have some video, and there's only going to be one good guy, and there's going to be a bad guy, and it's going to be us, and it's going to be them. I wish the general manager, I wish the head coach, general manager for this team would have had the foresight to schedule an exhibition game this year, because our young group could really use an exhibition game. We don't have a lot of players in our junior and senior classes, which is usually not a good formula. Our formula is when we're old and when we're deep. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is the players that we have in our junior and senior classes are good players, are real good players. And I never talk about our freshmen. People ask about the freshmen. Frank, what do you think about your freshmen? I said, I'll tell you in 2 years, I'll tell you what, these guys are all business, and I think that they've come in and seen right away from our upperclassmen, our leadership, our captains. You look right off the bat, Austin Schwartz and Cosentino, like they're hockey players. And then McCormick and Oliphant got voted as assistants, and not far behind them was Chris Hedden, who was on the All-American ballot last year. So, I wish that we had an exhibition game, but we don't. I just scheduled a very lukewarm start for us. We're playing Arizona State, who's going to be in the top 20, and then we play a team from Minnesota called not the Vikings, but the Gophers, and they're starting to make a name for themselves in hockey, by the way. And then our fourth game is going to be against Nebraska, Omaha, or UMass. And by the way, all three of those teams in the Icebreaker were in the NCAA tournament last year. So, Frank, I hope that the administration decides to keep Frank the coach, because Frank, the general manager, should be fired right now. But we're going to find out in a quick hurry where we sit on the food chain. That's the good news about it. And our young guys, we're going to have a lot of young players out there, but we've got some good older players. We got some good lead dogs. The young dogs learn from the old dogs. But our younger players, our freshmen and sophomores, for us to maximize our potential and make some noise early, and then obviously as we develop as a team late in the season, our younger players are going to have to play above their pay grade. There still is one more year of the fifth year COVID. The 37-year-old guys that are still playing college hockey. And so we got one more year of that to get through before we get back to some semblance of normalcy that I'm sure the NCAA will not have any part of, and will put some other obscure, crazy things in that are going to not work in the favor of the service academies. But that's life here. And that's life. Did I answer that question anyway? Okay. Are we done with the Vikings now? Are we okay?
Answer like 3 of my questions.
Yeah.
So with the early portion of the schedule, it's kind of to your young guys, hey, welcome to college hockey, with the players you have the teams you have on your schedule. Was that part intentional, or is that just how it worked out as far as finding teams?
Well, it just kind of worked. It kind of worked out that way. I like to have some of those marquee teams on your schedule. Hey, Army's a great series for us. It's fantastic. The most special series in all of college hockey. But if that's your marquee game on your schedule's not sexy enough. And we had Michigan State in here last year. We've got the Gophers on it this year. We got CC again. Arizona State is in the NCHC, and trust me, they ain't going to finish in the bottom of the league, and that's a really good league. But they're not going to finish in the bottom. They're good. So I think we owe it. We owe it to our players. They want to play some of those games. You can't play all of them, but you got to have some. Our fans want to see it. We owe it to our fans and our season ticket holders. Want to sell season tickets? We got to have something on the schedule, and so we owe it to the players. They want to play those games. We owe it to the fans and the season ticket holders, and also, like I said, it gives us a chance to see where we sit on the food chain. Hey, if we accomplish our goals and get to the NCAA tournament, I don't want that to be the first power school that we've faced, and we go in either scared to death or fat, dumb, and happy, one of the two. And so we're gonna learn some things from these games early, and I really believe that. They're not going to be easy. There's nothing easy about any game on the schedule. But we've got these 4 games against the big hitters. And I can't help but think that that's going to help us when Lindenwood comes in here for the 3rd weekend, and then when we go on the road to AIC, and AIC's been a thorn in our side. I can't imagine that we're not going to be a lot better prepared for those games moving forward after the first 4.
How would you describe your team? I know you said they're younger. How would you describe this team?
That's a great question, and I'm gonna kind of take this way around and this way around. Like, our goals every year are the same. Our goals are to finish in the top 5 in the league, hopefully get a first round bye. That puts us in the best position to win the playoff and go to the NCAA tournament. So the goals are the same, but the recipe and the formula changes. It changes, and last year we had a good team. We won 18 games, and it's not easy to win 18 games. We beat Michigan State early on, a top 10 team, a team that went to the NCAA tournament and made some noise. But also we earned the first round bye. I mean, that was great. But AIC came in here and beat us in the first round, and that's not good. Our Achilles heel last year was our even strength play. We had really good special teams last year. Guys like Gavin Costantino on the dot, heading at the point. Like Coach Doyle always puts together a great penalty killing unit, but our special teams were really special and carried us because our even strength play was not good. I believe out of the 21 players that played 15 or more games last year, only 5 were plus players. That's horrible. I don't know how we won 18 games. Had to be blessing and had to be our special teams and some good timing. This team may not score as many goals as last year. I know we're going to have we're going to put together. Coach Holmstrom's going to put together a good power play. Coach Doyle's going to put together a good penalty kill. But this team has no choice but to be a better even strength team. Like, and if we don't give up as many goals, maybe we won't have to score as many goals. And then also, when you get in the playoffs, even strength teams that are good even strength, good plus minus teams win in the playoffs because generally there's not as many penalties called. We lost AIC here in the playoffs. We gave up 6 even strength goals, and that can't happen. So this team, we got to be 4 lines deep, 6D, and we've got to go at people, and we've got to be very difficult to play against. We have to play with spirit. We have to play with fire in our bellies. This team has to be a consummate Air Force hockey team. It has to be the consummate group that just goes out and rolls up line after line after line, wears teams out, wins games in the third period, and that's not going to happen if we're not sound, if we're not good and sound even strength.
You answered 2 of my questions. I'll save the rest for tonight, Coach.
The Arizona State's program as a whole, on the up and up. New rink, obviously, you're recruiting kids from colder weather climates to come play in the desert, essentially. How have you seen that program grow, I guess?
Well, first of all, Coach Powers has done a fantastic job there. He's a good guy, and he's done it right. And now it is a Power 5 school. They're doing what they should do if they're a Power 5 school, especially in the sport of hockey. In hockey, overall, we only have 64 teams, and the majority of them, like, we're a one-room schoolhouse. The majority of the schools are Division II and Division III institutions that sponsor hockey at the Division I level. So when you got there's the Big Ten, Boston College, Arizona State. There's a very select few Power 5 schools at the very top, and so the institutional diversity is unbelievably great. That's where the transfer portal is having an adverse effect on hockey. But they're doing what they should be doing. And give them credit. Hey, there's a lot of people that go into those jobs and screw them up, but Greg Powers hasn't, and they've gotten better and better and better. They maximize their potential as an independent. They had to get into a conference. Paulie and I have been talking about it for years. He's just been looking for the right opportunity. They found the right opportunity in the NCHC, and they took advantage of it. But yeah, they are going to be a somebody in college hockey, and they're going to be a somebody for a long, long time.
How many years is this for you now at Air Force?
I don't know. You're supposed to know that. Yeah, I'm supposed to know about the Vikings. You're supposed to know about Frank.
28, that's what I thought. 28. So how do you keep this enthusiasm for coaching when every year is different? You know, you touched upon the transfer portal and obstacles that, are in front of you. How do you keep your enthusiasm as a head coach and the energy?
Well, I tell you what, this is the truth. I wouldn't say it. I just wouldn't say anything at all. The people I work with, in our athletic department, and guys like Toll and Marshy and Rushy, and then my staff. I mean, I've got a great staff. I mean, Josh and Joe run the practice and do all the video, and Steve and Bergie are out recruiting, and I mean, those guys are really, really good at what they do. Like I said, Josh and Joe are my primary coaches, and they assist in recruiting. Steve and Andy, primary recruiters and assist in the coaching. And I do press conferences. This is what I do. Yes. So actually, when are we done? Because I got a tea time. Okay. No, I like it. I enjoy it, and when it quits being fun, I ain't gonna do it no more. Yeah. You know what? I ain't gonna either that or Mr. Pine will tell me when it's time. The last one, Mr. Knowlton. I go, how long are you gonna go? I don't know. They'll tell me. Eventually, everybody's number comes up, right?
Coach, if you had to give some words of wisdom to the football team this week, taking on Navy, what would that be?
You know what? Stick with it. Just stick with it. As the athletic director that hired me here, Hans Mew, and then Randy Spetman before him, tough times don't last, tough people do. And you know what? We've had an awfully good run with Air Force football the last 3 years, the 10-win seasons, and a lot of success, and we ran over a lot of people. And in Division I collegiate athletics, the service academies, hey, most programs aren't built to just be reload programs, especially with the transfer portal. Like it's going to be for the service academy, it's going to be a little cyclical. And one of the problems that we're having right now that other sports are having in the Mountain West, we're having at our level, at one time before the transfer portal laws, teams would be cyclical. If you lost a big senior class, they maybe dip down a little bit. If a team got nailed with a bunch of guys that signed pro and they dip down a little bit. Now, hey, we've only got 3 players in our junior class. If we were at a traditional school, would we only have 3 players in our junior class right now? No, we would have went into the transfer portal and we would have filled in. So right now, like it's a tough time, and it's going to be a bit cyclical here at the academy. It just is, because we can't. Hey, we don't have those mulligans in our pocket that all the traditional schools have. But you know what? It's all right, Troy. It's all right, boys. You guys just go out and keep battling, keep fighting, and inspire us as best you can. Those guys got nothing to prove. They've had 3 good years, and trust me, I think by the time they have a lot of players that didn't play much going into this season, and they're all getting a bunch of experience. You can buy everything at Walmart except experience. And I'll tell you one thing. I've been watching Falcon football long enough to know that those coaches know what they're doing, and our kids ain't going to quit. They ain't going to quit. They're going to keep bringing it. And there's going to be a happy ending to this story. There just is. But it ain't easy. It's never been easy here. But it's never been more difficult than it is right now. And it has nothing to do with us. It has everything that happens to be going on outside the gates. We just have to reconfigure our mousetraps, go to work, do the best we can. And our kids, we always get a little bit more. We always get more out of them than you think you're going to get out of them. And that's what we need with our hockey program. But no, football, you guys, you just stick with it. And it's one of those years you're going to have to build, and it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And those guys, trust me, when it comes to the second half of the season, the teams that are on our schedule aren't going to be looking forward to playing Air Force. I'll guarantee you that.